Now at 4, flooding rainfall continues in some areas. We'll let you know when this moves out and the pleasant streak of weather that's ahead.
Plus, those ramp closures at 465 and US 31 on Indy's north side. We've been talking about it for weeks. Finally happened overnight. I'm Samantha Johnson. We'll break down what to expect at this major interchange still ahead.
And how can you tell if a gas station you visit is honoring the state's pause on taxes? Ahead, I'll tell you what's to do with the answer we got from the state attorney general's office.
Dodging downpours. That is the weather headline today, but the good news is that the system is moving out. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Felicia Lawrence.
I'm Anne-Marie in for Dustin, who has the day off. Thanks for joining us today at 13 News at 4. We're also here with our meteorologist, Sean Ash. He's tracking the rain that was really, we had thunder and lightning. It was quite a thunder boomer.
Dramatic.
It was dramatic this
Very
morning.
dramatic.
We know little Teddy didn't like it. Huh?
I have lost 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, he was up early.
It was an early alarm clock. We knew this was on the way. I'm not going to make it to Florida this summer, but I don't really need to because we've got some Florida downpours here at home. I want to show you. This is I-74 in Greensburg. And, not everyone had the heaviest of rain, but where it's occurring, we are getting 2 to 3 inch per hour rain rates at times. This is what's going on. So our camera's right there. That's a flash flood warning that you see flashing there. That includes Liberty and Connorsville, just south of Richmond. And we've got flood advisories all over central Indiana. This was not a surprise. We knew the atmosphere was going to be juiced up. This is radar rain estimates. It says last 12 hours, but in some cases this happened in about a 2 or 3 hour period here. 3.5 to 4.5 inch rain totals estimated by the radar. So again, those are all of the flood advisories that include a good portion of the metro area. And there's the flash flood warning. Fayette, Franklin, Union, Wayne counties until at least 6:30. It would not surprise me if we get additional counties with flash flood warnings. If we don't, either way, there's still some flood potential. However, you see the axis. It's drifting south slowly but surely, improving weather conditions north to south as the front in this low pressure system moves toward the Ohio River in the coming hours. In between now and say about 6 or 7 o'clock, we're still going to have scattered to perhaps some numerous downpours over southeastern Indiana with improving weather around the metro area. I'll have more on that and a long streak of sunshine in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, let's get to it. And we begin this afternoon at 4 with a live look on Indy's north side. This is 465 and US 31. And if your commute takes you through here, you've likely noticed some changes this morning. NDOT crews have finally moved into phase 3 of the Level Up 31 project.
It's good to see sun shining up there on the north side at this hour, but we want to make sure that you're aware there are some big time closures that are underway right now. Samantha Johnson has everything we need to know with all the developments. Joining us now from the north side. Sam.
It finally happened after weeks of preparation. The interchange here behind me, 465 on to northbound 31. Those ramps are closed as you know it. There's a workaround to get you northbound instead. This first impacted the morning commute on Wednesday, and now NDOT is asking all of us to slow down, pay attention, so you don't end up like this.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see. We always want people to drive safe, especially in construction zones, because we do have workers out here, and at times they are just working behind orange barrels.
Those workers expanding this interchange, making it safer and more efficient. And even though northbound 31 is tricky to navigate, it is still open.
We knew we had to do that. That interchange alone gets about 100,000 cars a day, so closing it off was really not an option.
For drivers, this comes as Governor Mike Braun says the current gas tax suspension could be extended again in June, all thanks to the state's energy emergency law. It's saving us about 59 cents a gallon right now, giving Indiana the cheapest gas in the country, according to Gas Buddy. The national average right around $4.42. In Indiana, it's $3.84, with an average $3.83 in Indy.
Taxpayers need a break. Affordability is real.
We asked the governor how 2-3 months of no taxes will impact road funding for future projects like this one.
And I am a believer that you do have to have a little bit of getting through tricky issues like we're dealing with out there. And then it's good when you're in a place where you have that rainy day fund capacity to get through what we have here.
So as you hit the road this summer, expect the barrels to be there too.
It is a bit unusual, and we have some more barrels out now, so we really want people to pay attention all the time, but especially this first week.
The ramps at 465 and US 31 rerouted through late fall. On the north side, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
And as Sam just mentioned right there, that gas taxes right now are temporarily suspended statewide, saving roughly 59 cents a gallon.
And some of you wanted to know, how do we know if the savings are being passed along to us? Well, Allison Gormley tells us what's the deal with that.
I know, it was a good question we got from one of our viewers. They said, hey, how do we know? And that's because when we look at gas prices on the big board outside of the station, the taxes are typically included in that number. And if you look at your receipt, the retail receipt that is, there's no line for taxes. There's no itemization like you do at the grocery store or maybe the mall. So how do we make sure that we are getting the savings? A spokesperson for the state attorney general's office said the best way is for consumers to check the gas prices using their gas price monitoring tool, and it's called IN Fuel Watch. And we'll pull it up right here for you. And they said the stations passing along the tax suspension should have prices that generally align with other stations in the area. Stations with noticeably higher prices may still be charging that suspended gas tax. They added that their office is actively monitoring across the state and has more than 100 follow-ups and investigations open right now. So it is something that they are keeping an eye on.
Yeah, so when are prices pulled for the data?
They pull them every morning, so that's when the update runs, and they have a bar, I guess you could say, across the top that
lets you know
lets you know it's updated, where we started and where we're at now.
Yeah, because we have seen those price changes pretty dramatically throughout the day too, so you do want to check regularly.
Yeah, some people might say it's not a lot. I want every cent that's supposed to be mine.
Right, and if you want more updates than once a day, there are apps that can certainly do that, but that's a good place to start at least.
Yeah. All right, really interesting. All right, Allison Gormley, thank you. Other news now, a Hancock County man pleaded guilty today to driving drunk in a customer's car that caused a crash that killed a woman driving home from church.
Rich Nye had his camera in the courtroom for the plea agreement and reaction from the victim's daughter.
How do you plead? Guilty.
Alexander Ray pleaded guilty to all 4 charges against him, including operating a vehicle while intoxicated, causing death. On July 26 last year, Ray was driving a 2024 Ford Mustang Super Snake west on State Road 234 in Wilkinson. About 6:45 p.m., he violently wrecked into a car driven by 76-year-old Adine Hargrove at the intersection of County Road 675 East. Hargrove's car broke into 2 pieces, one laying in a front yard near the road and the other coming to rest in a cornfield about 100 yards from the intersection. She died instantly.
Ray admits not only that he was driving drunk, but that he was driving a customer's Mustang without permission at a very high rate of speed.
The vehicle the defendant was operating was going 148.5 miles per hour, 1.5 seconds before impact, and 120 miles per hour at the time of impact.
The crash happened just down the road from Ray's auto detailing business. Under a plea agreement, the judge can sentence Ray up to 8 years in prison.
How appropriate do you feel that length of time is?
No comment, yeah.
Hargrove's 2 daughters and other family and friends attended the hearing, wearing red in memory of the retired beautician.
We're here to support our cause. Justice for Adine, for our mother, for our friends, for our community. I miss her home-cooked meals. She was the best. Her advice on life, her
unconditional love.
Unconditional love, yeah.
Ray remains free on bond until his sentencing July 1st. In Greenfield, Rich Nye, 13 News.
And in a separate case, a Plainfield man today received another 4 years in prison for another drunk driving conviction.
28-year-old Timothy Hughes received an identical plea deal in Hamilton County to the one he accepted in Henry County earlier this year. The two sentences for separate drunk driving incidents last year now total 8 years in prison. These are felony convictions because when Hughes was 17, he went to prison then for a deadly drunk driving crash. In 2015, Hughes hit two 22-year-old women. They were riding on bikes near New Pal in Hancock County. Carla McCloy died. Her cousin, Amanda Wheeler, had serious injuries. Wheeler flew to Indiana from her home in Florida to attend that sentencing today that was underway in Hamilton County.
In a lot of ways, this happened because the last sentence was not carried out how it was supposed to. My whole family was blindsided. He got the max. He got the max sentence with what we heard was a 10-year license suspension. None of that happened. And so now I feel like this is the justice system trying to correct things a little bit, trying to balance things. Maybe he will get the help that he needs with a longer sentence.
Hughes apologized for his drunk driving and said it would not happen again. Hear the judge's response to that coming up at 5 p.m. on 13 News.
Coming up, be on the lookout starting next week, the way the U.S. Mint now is celebrating America's 250th birthday.
Also, the most expensive NBA Finals tickets on record. What fans are paying to see the Knicks in the finals.
Well, we still have some downpours on radar. These are now settling south of I-70, and we're turning the faucet off. And boy, we got some sunshine, plenty of it in the 7-day forecast.